All right, everybody, here we go. It is time for our play again button. So I've gone over all the code, okay? I have shown you how to create a tie. I have shown you how to create your own function to clean up the animations. Now what we've got to do is we've got to make a button to play the game again. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to my main storyboard. I'm going to hold the Option key and I'm going to go back to View Controller for right now, okay? Try to set it up like this. I am just, for the time being, going to decrease the size of my code just so you guys can kind of see a little bit more of it. I'll increase it in a second. I'm going to go to my asset library, okay? Let me go to my main storyboard. Go to my asset library and I'm going to choose button, okay? And I'm going to drag this button. Now, I'm going to drag this button down here, okay? I'm going to call this right now play again. And then what I'm going to do is, color's fine. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Again, notice where I put my button. I don't want to screw with my board, okay? I want to keep it down here. And then background, let's give it a nice something that they can see that looks tacky, but it's fine. And we're going to say play again. It's perfect, okay? I'm going to keep it simple. Now what I'm going to do is I have to do two things, okay? So just like I did with our X, I'm going to go here. I'm going to control, click, and drag. And I'm going to call this play again button. It is an outlet, okay? The reason it's an outlet is because I need to control the visibility of it. I'm going to hit connect. Now what I'm going to do is I want to make sure there's space, okay? Actually, you know what? Let me keep all my outlets together. Clean it up a little bit. Perfect. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'll move my button pressed, and then I'm going to control click, and this time I'm going to make this an action. I will call it play again. And I'm going to hit connect. Okay, once I have done that, I can go back into my single view. I don't need to be on View Controller anymore. Actually, one last thing. My apologies. Click here, go back to your Attributes Inspector. Change the tag to like 15. Okay, so that we have no issues. Now I can go back into single view mode. Remember that I hit this button up here and click on View Controller. So here's my play again button. So let's just analyze what this play again button does. If we have played a board, certain things have changed and we want to reset those. So for example, active player may have finished on player 2. These are going to be a mixtures possibly of zeros, ones, and twos. This is going to be set to false, or it's going to continue running. Something of that nature, okay? So what we now need to do is this. We're going to hit the play again button. We are going to say active player equal 1. We are overwriting it. We are resetting it. We're going to say var. I can actually just copy this. Actually, I don't need to. Let me copy this part right here. I can say that this is all this again. Now, because I've already explained it, I'm just going to keep this nice and clean on one line. Okay, so game state is back to 0. I'm going to say active game is back to true. Now, the buttons. Technically, right now, this would be a mixture of X's and O's and stuff like that. We need them to go back to being blank. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a traditional I loop, okay? Or a for loop. My apologies, for loop. We're going to say for, sorry, jumped again, I in 1 less than 10. This is a special type of loop. There's so many different types of loops in Swift, okay? What this loop is basically doing is basically saying that I is going to start at 1, and it's going to cycle to everything less than 10. So for the first loop, it will be 1. The second loop, it will be 2. The third loop, it will be 3, etc., etc., okay? Make this a little bigger for you. Okay. So what's going to happen is I in particular is going to be the tag number. We're going to say if let button, which is our button that we're pressing, equals view.view with tag. Okay. And I can say 1. Or I'm sorry, I. So what this is going to look for is it's going to look for after you press this play again button, it's going to cycle through, and it's going to cycle through all the tags starting at 1. Okay? And in particular, we have to use a special line of code that makes sure that you're cycling through buttons. Okay? So this is something that you're going to kind of have to take as is. Okay? And then we're going to open up a curly brace and we're going to hit enter. We are going to say button.setImage, open parentheses, nil, comma, with an empty error array. Okay, so basically what this line of code is doing is it's saying if the button is, or what's it called, if it is a button, and we're going to check the tag, even if it's blank, it's still just going to put it back to blank. It's going to reset it to nil. So again, play again is cycling through. It's going to reset everything back to its original state. And then what it's going to do is it's going to check all the tags and recycle the buttons. Now, here's the other thing that we're going to do. We're going to animate it. As you can see, I called it play again button for the output. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go down to our view did load right here. I'm actually just going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this. And I'm going to call this play again button. And what you want to do is do this wherever you see in this line, play again button and play again button. So what we're doing is we are also going to, when this app loads, we are going to throw it off the screen and we're going to move it 500. The reason we're moving this button is because if we just made it invisible, let's say the user accidentally puts their thumb there, it would reset the game. Okay, so we're here. Winner dot is hidden, so we've got the one that handles our winner label, and now we have one that handles our play again button. So now, very simple. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to add these. We have to copy this now in our end game. We're going to say play again button is false. So basically everything we did to the winner label, we want to do to the play again button. And here. Bingo, bango. All right. So we are good. Everything is great there. Now the last thing that we want to do is this. All right. So we have animated it in the end game. Now this animation handles both. I want to copy all of this right here in my view did load. And what I'm going to do is I am going to paste it. Not here, just outside of the for loop. Because what we want to do is we've animated both the button and the winner label. What we want to do is after we reset, we want to re-hide them. So we're going to make the label and the button both hidden, and we're going to move them off the screen by 500. Okay? So we covered a lot in this one, but if we run this now, and I go to my simulator, okay, here we go. What's going to happen now is XO, we'll do a tie game. XO, XO, and take a look. Our play again button works. And we can start all over again. There we go. I recommend watching this video at least twice, okay? Because there was a lot to cover. We covered resetting everything. We covered making the animations, adding animations for the play again button in the end game, so that we don't imagine if we would have to write all of this here and here. As you can see, this cleans it up a little bit. And then also adding it to our view did load so that right when the app starts, everything is hidden. That is a complete working app. I hope these videos help. And again, this one you might want to watch over again. It's a lot of information to process.